Hello, my name is Brian Thomas, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and also welcome back to another episode of the Untitled podcast, where I like to talk about whatever I want. For today's episode, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, definitely finding a hard time of talking about certain topics, but we move on. For the first thing I would like to talk about for today's episode, I would like to talk about the UFC announcement of Kevin Holland versus WonderBoy Stephen Thompson. Now, this fight is especially interesting just because Kevin Holland did recently retire after his last loss to Khamzat Chimaev on short notice. He did lose in a pretty dominant fashion. Obviously, that's Khamzat Chimaev that he did fight on short notice. So definitely can look at that fight. I really don't know how to put this, but I don't want to say it's a fluke loss, but it's I definitely don't think it's anything to cry about or anything like that. It's a very Khamzat Chimaev is a future world champion for sure. So not saying that Kevin Holland isn't, but he's just not there yet. Kevin Holland obviously losing by submission in his last fight, but he also won by submission against a very good opponent in Tim Means in the second round. So he can grapple, but he's just not at a championship level of grappling. He pretty young guy, 6'3", only 29 years old. Has a lot ahead of him, which is why it's very surprising to see him actually retire in the fashion that he did. I think he was just very frustrated by the way that he performed in his last fight, and I think he kind of took it out on himself by almost forcing himself to retire. Now, I do think this is a very good stylistic matchup for him fighting Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, somebody who likes to stay on their feet, also has a karate-ish background just like him. I know Kevin Holland identifies as like having a kung fu background, but it's I genuinely don't know the difference. I think in kung fu you could use weapons, and in karate it's just your body. I could be wrong on that, but I digress. This should be a very interesting fight. Actually, on ESPN it says WonderBoy is a kickboxing fighting style with Kevin Holland being a kung fu fighting style. So I definitely don't know any other kung fu fighters in the UFC. Definitely, Kevin Holland's definitely one of a kind. Also, he's also a really fun fighter, likes to talk during the fight, so it should definitely be a good fight to watch. My prediction for this fight is going to be Kevin Holland. I do think Father Time is catching up with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and he is age 39. I would assume they're going to fight at welterweight. I know Kevin Holland just fought at middleweight, but he's fought at welterweight before. He just moved up to middleweight before, so it's fine. Wonderboy Thompson is coming off 2 unanimous decision losses. The first being against Gilbert Burns in July of 2021 and Bilal Muhammad in December of 2021. So it's definitely also been a pretty long time since he's fought. Just about 10 months. Yeah, just about 10 months. December, we're in October now, so yeah, just about 10 months. So it will be interesting to see how he fights, to see if he fights any different. I wonder if he's going to try to integrate any grappling into his game. Probably not. I'm definitely expecting a stand and bang type of fight. Should definitely be very, very fun to watch if you're a fan of boxing or kickboxing or anything like that. This is definitely going to be a fight that you're definitely going to want to watch. So, yeah. My final prediction though is going to be Kevin Holland, and just for shits and giggles, let's just say Kevin Holland wins in the 3rd round by knockout. Let's just say, yeah, 3rd round knockout, Kevin Holland. And for my next topic, I would like to talk about our preview of the Thursday Night Football game for Week 5. We have the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos obviously coming off definitely having a weird season. Definitely had very high expectations after signing Russell Wilson. And I wouldn't say Russell Wilson is doing particularly bad. I would more or less just say that the whole team isn't producing. I feel like the defense isn't really playing up to par, besides a couple standouts being Patrick Surtain, Bradley Chubb, people like that, the big names on that defense. And then the Indianapolis Colts are also being pretty have also been pretty disappointing, to say the least. They went out in the offseason, they got Matt Ryan. They were really expecting Jonathan Taylor to break out, and he has been having a pretty bad season for the past 4 weeks. Has not really broke out like how he has in the past. And it also does not help the Colts that Jonathan Taylor is out with a ankle injury in this bout. But while I do say that, the Broncos did just lose their starting running back in Javonte Williams. Definitely a hard pill to swallow, but he was definitely splitting carries with Melvin Gordon. So while Javonte Williams was starting, Melvin Gordon can definitely hold his own and definitely run the ball more than he's asked to. So that's very nice for the Broncos. Nice to have depth. It is also going to be pretty interesting to see who the Colts use at running back for this game. I can't think of any other running backs that they have in that team. I'm pretty sure Marlon Mack is not on that team anymore. But one person I know for sure that is on that team is Phillip Lindsay. Will be interesting to see if they use him in this game, just considering of how well he did when he was in Denver, to see if maybe, I guess you can call it a revenge game almost, to see if he could get that inner dog in him, and run all over those Broncos. It would be nice to see. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Lindsay was not the best in Houston, and he definitely isn't going to be the best in Indianapolis, especially considering he wasn't even starting in Indianapolis. He's definitely Jonathan Taylor's backup running back. But it will be interesting to see how he plays. Now, that being said, this being a Thursday night game, it's definitely not the best game. Definitely a very, very predictable game. If the Broncos lose this game, I'm gonna look like a dummy. But my prediction is going to be the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos have all the weapons that they need to beat the Indianapolis Colts. While I said their defense has been shaky, I do believe their defense will be able to stop the Indianapolis Colts. I feel like they have everything that they need to stop that offense. They have Patrick Surtain to guard Michael Pittman, who is a big target in that offense. They have great pass rush with Bradley Chubb to get to Matt Ryan pretty quickly. And they don't really have to worry about a run game as much as they did before with Jonathan Taylor. So pretty good matchup for the Broncos. So I guess I got the Broncos winning this game. Let me give a score prediction. I'm gonna say the Broncos are going to beat the Indianapolis Colts 24-10. Thursday night game. Broncos win 24-10. Do you guys like this ASMR? Oh, I'm whispering now. Do you like this ASMR? Okay, let's not get weird. Podcast ASMR. And I guess we can get into one of our final topics. I know I talk about sports a lot on this channel, but obviously being such a big sports fan, I do play a lot of sports video games. I play Madden, I play 2K, I play MLB The Show, all those games. The only games I would say I don't really play as much as I did before were FIFA and NHL. But I still feel like this might apply to them, even though I don't really know what's going on in their games. But I know specifically in Madden and 2K this is happening. But I feel like the developers of this game are starting to smoke crack. I do not know what is wrong with these people. They are charging insane amounts of dollars for the packs that they sell on their game. And let me just make this clear. These are virtual cards that you're going to use for a month and then lose the right to use them ever again in a year when the new game comes out. So EA and 2K, what are you doing? I'll never understand or justify the reasoning in spending so much money into a game Obviously, if you're a content creator on YouTube and you make content in this game, you're going to get the money back. You're going to open the packs so that, us fans, we don't have to. But I could definitely say I've fallen into the trap of buying packs in these games and have just not felt rewarded as if I paid $50 or if I paid $25 or just any dollar amount at all. And it's very, very frustrating. And I know specifically in Madden, we are currently in a pack strike just because of how poorly the game is right now. There's bugs and glitches in this game. There are problems with content when content drops. There are problems with the packs and the odds and just everything about them. It seems like they are not very rewarding. They are changing the packs. The bundles that they're putting out are not giving us full value for the money that we are spending. And it's very, very frustrating. But one thing I definitely did want to talk about was how these games have integrated almost a battle pass-ish aspect to these games, specifically in Madden and 2K and even MLB The Show. They have these programs or season passes, or in MUT it's called Field Pass, and they're using these passes to give us rewards as of now. And definitely at the beginning, before the game came out, I'm pretty sure everybody was excited to get these rewards, and everybody was very excited to see the players that we would get from these programs and things as such. But one thing they have stopped doing is rewarding us for games that we are playing. While they may ask you to play 100 games to earn a certain amount of XP to build your way towards a player or toward a certain coin amount or whatever, as soon as I'm done with whatever I gotta do or whatever you're telling me, and I still want to play this game and get my team better, because mind you, there are cards coming out, I would say 2 to 3 times a week. How am I supposed to keep up if I'm not getting rewarded for playing the game as much as I am? And it's very, very, very frustrating. And I really hope that, I'm not the biggest creator. I'm pretty much a nobody. Nobody views these podcasts. But I hope that somebody eventually does watch this, and I hope they understand the frustrations, and I hope they understand what they need to do better. So I guess that's my little rant for these games. Oh, and also, before I move on, I'm pretty sure there's going to be people that talk about, oh, well, before they do any of that, they need to fix franchise. I am 100% on board with you. Franchise should be the main game mode in these games, and they're not, and that is such bullcrap, because franchise has been there since every one of those games' existences, and a lot of people have grown up with those modes. And it's very sad to see how a game from 2005, 2006, 2007, whatever the year may be, have more content in it than compared to these games that are coming out every year. So, yeah, I guess I just want to say, do better. I would say what to do better, but you guys know. Make packs cheaper. Give us rewards. When content comes out, make sure it doesn't break the game. And also, please fix franchise mode. Please fix franchise mode. Please fix franchise mode. Oh, it looks like we're getting back into some ASMR. Do you like when I whisper into my microphone? ASMR podcast. The next episode, I'm gonna do an ASMR podcast. Okay, I'm pretty sure some people clicked off the video there. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to talk about for today. I do want to give a little update on what I plan to do with this podcast and any content going forward. As of right now, well, I guess you could see that I'm using a pretty good microphone now compared to my gaming headset that I used in my first episode. I like this microphone. I like the way that it sounds. Hopefully it sounds good on your end and everything's going well. But as of right now, I'm really enjoying making this podcast, but I am definitely having a hard time finding a lot of topics to talk about. So maybe if anybody watches this, please comment something you would like me to talk about. Comment something. Oh, excuse me. Please comment something you would like me to do. Anything. Just let me know. Any criticism is valid criticism. And I think that's going to be it for this shorter episode of the podcast today. I hope you all do well. I hope you all have a great week. I hope you all strive and hit your goals for the week, and I hope you enter tomorrow with a better day than you did the day before. Please subscribe. Please share this with a friend, and also please hit that like button, because that does help the algorithm push this out to more people, and that is very much appreciated to me. And I understand if you can't. It's whatever. I'm just doing this for fun. So please subscribe, like, comment, and share, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another episode of the Untitled podcast. Hope you guys have a good night. Good night.